And welcome to Incredibly, your favorite show about superheroes. My name is Dennis. I am your superhero host. I'm here today with Crystal.
Yatta Sabin.
I'm here with Joey.
Wet.
I'm here with Uchi.
Year.
And let's fly. Because it's Christmas, we wanted to give you a gift, the gift of us. We are here to review Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Does this superhero movie have motion like the ocean, or will it sink into the deep, dark sea? Let's talk about it. God damn, I'm so good.
That's yeah.
Joey, I usually go to you first, but today we have a special guest. It's a lady, the lady of the podcast, our other co-host with the most. Crystal, I'm going to kick it off to you first. What's your immediate reaction when it comes to Aquaman?
So honestly, right after, I thought it wasn't that bad compared to some other DC movies.
I said the same thing.
Yeah, that was my immediate reaction. I think I started docking a couple more points the more I started talking about it with Uchi. But overall, it wasn't terrible compared to other movies. So, I'm glad I went to see it. I'll say that.
Joey, go for it. Your immediate reactions.
Immediate reactions. This movie was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with it. I was expecting to have a lot of fun with it based off of just Aquaman. The first Aquaman movie was pretty good. But as the same as Crystal said, the more I thought about it, the worse it got in my head, which is what tends to happen with a lot of these movies. But it wasn't bad. Had a good time. For the send off for the DCEU, it was pretty all right. It could have been worse.
All right, Uchi, go for it.
All right, so I honestly was like struggling through the film. Like, I mean, I don't know if it's because of my long work days or what, but yeah, like
Yeah,
like
he was kept falling asleep.
yeah, she's my witness. So
Uh-huh. But I don't think that was because of the movie though. I think it was just you barely had sleep the night before.
but that's what I'm trying to say is that like the movie was pretty okay throughout like the entirety because like once it started picking up towards the end and getting like really good, that's when I was like awake by that point. So like it took time obviously to really build up towards this like ending climactic, or yeah, but like it felt somewhat slow, even though, like, I understood, like, why they were, building up Mantis again and, like,
Mhm.
trying to establish, like, the relationship with Arthur's brother again.
Warm.
Orn, yeah. Very, very, very interesting name. But, like, yeah, like, I don't know, like and then, like, I guess subconsciously a part of me like, I couldn't have altered this in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
Mentally, the whole time, I already knew, like, this is not building towards anything. This is literally, like, the last film, and of course, I'm kind of now that I'm saying it, I'm kinda glad that they didn't, like, try to tease anything else because, like, how could they? Why would they? This definitely felt like the last of any kind for DC for right now. And yeah, like I enjoyed it. I really thought the fight scene that he has with Mantis towards the end, that was actually crazy. I loved that fight. But yeah, I mean, it was for me, it was a very okay, pretty good film. Aquaman is up there as far as my favorites for the DC movies for sure. Um, but like I don't know, I guess I'm not even upset that it was just like an okay film. I'm just upset at the DC situation as a whole and then like having to like see that, you know what I'm saying? Like happen right before our eyes. Like I always like want to come out of the theater feeling like, yeah, like that was
Right.
awesome. I can't wait for the next one. I didn't have that for this, even though as much as I love Aquaman. So, but it's better than Flash. I'll give it that right there.
Amen.
But then again, I
Yeah.
feel like anything's better than Flash. But
Yeah, probably. I had the same feelings as well. Like there was something off about. I actually loved the dad and the son dynamic in the beginning
Yeah,
of the movie. I
same.
was
Yeah,
laughing so hard. I thought it was super cute. And then like they did the same joke 3 or 2 times, and I was like, "You already did that joke. Like you don't have to do like let me just enjoy it." Yeah, there was something off, man. I don't know what it was. I couldn't tell if it was like a comedy, a superhero movie, a detective movie with like the two brothers. I was a little bit lost. I was like, what is your identity here? Because we know this is the end. Just give us something we can just like have a good time with for Christmas. So that was kind of like my feelings throughout, but I thought it was okay. There were certain parts where I laughed. The one thing I do love, bro, I'm not even gonna lie, is I love Jason as Aquaman. I feel
yes.
like he embraces that character. Like he is proud
Absolutely.
to be Aquaman and stuff like that. And it just works for him. And I really did like that. So that was probably my favorite part of it. Joey, what were your expectations going in? Because we did know like this was kind of the end of the DCEU.
I was really just expecting a better Aquaman movie than the first one, which was pretty tough because the first one was actually really good. Had some incredible fight scenes.
Made a
Just
lot of money
incredible.
too.
Made a lot of money. I think it was $1 billion movie.
Oh, nice.
So, and sequels generally do about as good, if not a little bit better than the first iteration of the film. So I was really expecting not only this movie to do gangbusters, maybe, um, but also just to have a good time. And I can't say that I didn't have fun because I did have fun. There was a lot of I will say that because I'm directly comparing my experience with The Flash to this movie, and I definitely left the movie in a better mood than I did when I left the Flash movie because I it was actually fun. Um, but I tried to go in with no expectations because I wasn't expecting like a huge send off. I wasn't expecting anything like that because I feel like we got a pretty good send off with the Flash rather than with this, where we got to see everybody off and ended it in a
Right.
different universe, which is whatever. But with this movie, it ended with Orm eating a cockroach sandwich, which probably is the best metaphor for the entire DCEU as a whole. So
Mhm.
couldn't have been better. So I don't know. It's pretty all right, you know. I
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
my
Can I
expectations were met. I wasn't really disappointed. A lot of the problems I had are similar things to what you voiced, but I'd like to hear what everybody
yeah.
else has to say.
One problem I had, honestly, and I couldn't like once this happened, I was just pretty much done. Spoiler
You
alert.
checked
We're
out.
talking about spoilers here. I checked out. Was when the kid gets kidnapped and this obnoxious yell that they do, like Amber's yelling, Aquaman's yelling, like I was just like, what the hell am I watching? Amber's like, no. I'm like, this is that was just so bad for me. And then like I don't know, I didn't believe it, I guess. And I thought it was so corny. I
I
don't know if
will
you guys felt the same way.
I will say this is that this movie felt like a comic book movie. Like it really felt like the dialogue
Mhm.
was very comic booky, the way that they were acting was very comic booky. It wasn't like typical Marvel dialogue. It felt like they were taking words off a comic book page and pasting them into the movie and saying them. And like
Mm,
those scenes in a comic book probably would have been okay. Like if you had those scenes where you see like Mara and Aquaman literally just screaming because their child has been adopted, it probably would have worked. But I agree with you.
I
yeah.
felt like that scene was like, I thought it was fine, just given like the situation because I mean I don't know about you, but like if my kid got abducted, which I don't, we don't have kids yet, but like I'm pretty sure I would more than just yell, and the house was on fire. The dad was thought we thought the dad was gonna die,
Yeah.
It
you
was
know.
chaotic, bro. It
It
was
was very
crazy.
chaotic. So like like for that scene, like that scene didn't really bother me. Like um I didn't take that and feel like how like you were feeling. I was
Mm,
basically just like damn, like I felt bad. Like I feel like that was like the emotion that they were trying to pull from people because it was like one thing to the next because I remember the scene prior, they were like talking about like what he could be doing or going after, and then when Arthur realizes like I'm not the last one in the bloodline, and of course I threw up my yep. I threw up my finger, and then he was like, "Oh shit!" And then it cuts right to the freaking house like lit up, and the baby's missing, the father is looking like he's about to die. So I was like, "Damn, like that's crazy." So like they set up the tragic portion that of course like transitioned right to like the real like the tie up of the whole movie because you figure and I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner, but like them having the baby play some light role in this from the beginning, I don't know why I didn't even ask or bother to wonder like, "Oh, I wonder if the kid's gonna do anything." I mean, they set up remember how like the baby was doing like he was like making the fish like stay
Talk,
still.
yeah,
I
he was
thought that I
talking to
thought
him.
that was dope, but then that didn't really they didn't do anything with that afterwards. Like there was real that like I don't there was no payoff, which I guess is also adds to my
Well, technically they did because that's how
Yeah.
Aquaman was able to hear his baby and go
Yeah.
to Mantis before he killed
well,
Yep.
him.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm talking about like more in a the
Talking with fish
child is
way.
gonna use,
Yeah.
like yeah, but I don't know. That's
Yeah.
I guess it just adds to my pity towards the DC situation as a whole because it's just like, damn, I would have loved to see more. I
Right.
would have loved to see that kid like grow up and like become like Aqua Teen or you know
Right.
Aqua Lad. I don't fucking
Aqualad, baby.
yeah.
Super
So
fish boy.
Super
Whatever.
Fish
Fish
Boy.
boy.
I talk to them
Crystal.
Johns. Sorry.
Crystal, one thing that bothered me, I love Yaya, Black Manta in this, right? I loved that character in the first movie. I was like, hopefully we get more. But one thing that bothered me was halfway through the movie, he's not a problem anymore. It's like, oh, he's not the big deal anymore. Like that kind of bothered me a little bit, but I don't know how did you feel about that?
So I was gonna say earlier, I agreed with you in regards to the because it wasn't necessarily the fact that they were upset because of course that's expected. Who wouldn't be, you know?
Yeah.
But I think it wasn't emotion provoking enough.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I think
Yeah.
that's what I don't know if that's what you meant, Dennis, but that's how I felt.
Yeah.
Because as an emotional, very emotional being myself, I cry over everything, and believe it or not, I wasn't crying
Yeah,
in that
yeah,
moment.
yeah.
Like, I'm like, "Damn, that's so sad," but it just wasn't emotion provoking for me, and I was expecting that.
Mm,
And the same thing, like,
That's right.
I felt like they were kinda trying too hard with certain moments like that, and then also the comedy
Yeah.
scenes. Because at first I'm like, "Damn," but I like when it's more like Marvel, um, in like how you were saying earlier, it kinda gave that comic book vibe. So I thought about it, I'm like, "Alright, it is what it." I felt like it was still kind of trying too hard to be funny. I did laugh at certain parts, but in regards to the Mantis thing, that leads into the other issue that I had with it. So I didn't mind too much, the fact that we've seen Mantis before, I was expecting a little bit more. Um,
Yeah, same. Yeah.
I think because they kinda set up this other threat, that's cool, but we didn't even get to see, like, what would happen with that threat. It kinda was just, like, all this
Mhm.
buildup, which is
Yeah.
fine, but then, like, at the end, he, like Aquaman kills the dude in, like, 2 seconds.
yup.
And
Yeah.
that's what made it so I'm like, "Damn, they shoulda at least gave it another, like, half an hour or something like that to try to defeat this so-called huge threat." Because like, that storyline was so cool. I'm like, "Oh, I like this. I like where this is going. This could be so," like, I think if they woulda executed the other things properly and executed this properly and gave it more time, I think it would've been closer to, like, a 10 out of 10 movie. Would I say 10 out of 10? I don't know, but I think it would've been closer up there in
Them
my
big
rates
words
for the
around
movie.
here, Crystal.
Right.
10
Yeah,
out of 10 is
it
big
is.
over here. But I
I
I
Yeah.
agree with a lot with what you're saying. Go ahead, Joey. Cook it.
I was gonna say, Crystal, I absolutely agree. I don't think it needed an extra 30 minutes. I think they could have cut out the whole scene of them traversing through the jungle and
Oh, yeah.
built up
Yeah.
the big bad more. Because I was like,
Yeah.
it's fun, I guess, to see what um I can't even remember the name of the green energy source. The stuff was doing to the world. Like it was creating global warming and it was changing the island. Like that's cool, but also like I don't care. Like what I am here to see is an Aquaman movie, and you have Aquaman running through the jungle. Like what are we doing? Like he's not
Yeah.
fighting Manta. He's not doing anything. Like it was building up the relationship with Orm back to I guess anything, right?
Mhm.
But I felt that that time could have been better used developing the big bad evil guy more, or developing the feeling towards the child more, or anything.
Yeah.
Because like what you were saying, Crystal, is I didn't feel like any emotion. Like I also knew the baby was going to be in peril, because you don't just throw a baby into a story like this and not expect the baby to like
Right.
become like a
Yep.
some kind of point of contention. But it just felt like that scene of the movie just felt so removed, because it's not even like the plants came back in any meaningful way, or the giant crickets came back in any meaningful way. They were there and that was it. There was like no payoff in the future outside of the post-credit scene where Orm eats a cockroach again. Like that was about it. So it just felt
Yeah.
like that whole thing could have just been removed, and you could have spent more time focusing on the villain.
Yeah.
Because I would have
Yeah.
loved to
Absolutely.
live with Manta more, because he was an awesome
Me
character.
too.
Like I love his villain,
Yeah, he
you
was
know?
great.
Yeah.
Me too.
So
His presence on screen is so sick, bro. Like it's just like he's just so strong, and like his
yeah.
face and everything. Like
Dude with the
I loved
scar
it.
across his face,
Yeah, he's
Mhm.
so
menacing.
cool. Damn, I want to be him. But like I just wanted more. I just wanted more of him and less of like the big bad monster at the end, which I do love. I love the dark magic. You guys know how much I love Scarlet Witch, so I love
Yeah.
that dark magic stuff. But man, they could have done that separately. I don't know. But good call on that jungle scene, Joey, because I got Honey, I Shrunk the Kids vibe, just like
Hmm.
a skit, kind of just
Mm,
from that
Yes.
yes.
for that moment. And I was
Yes.
that's what I was talking about. I didn't know what the identity of the movie was. Are you a comedy? Are you like a superhero story? Are you developing the kid? Like, what are you doing?
It
So
Mm.
felt like he was really trying to channel um Johnny Depp in this movie. And it really
yes.
like, and maybe that's like a against the Amber Heard thing or whatever,
That's
but
funny.
like
Yeah.
he was giving huge Jack Sparrow vibes the entire time, especially
Mm.
when he runs, because he runs like he's like a
That running
Wolverine.
scene was funny though. When
It
he
was
learned how
really
to
Yeah.
run,
funny.
I laughed there, not
Yeah,
gonna
because
lie.
he was Naruto running, and then Orm Orm had to
Yeah.
change
Yeah.
his face.
I
I la
noticed that.
I laughed there, and I laughed when he went to see his brother, and he was like, "Alright, let's go, Castaway." Dude, like, I
Yes,
don't know.
grab
That
I
was
know it
Wilson,
was
funny.
let's
corny.
go.
That was so good. I liked it a lot. Yeah, so not a perfect movie. There were some problems with it, but there were some funny scenes. Uchi, was there any scene that you laughed out loud or you thought they were pretty funny?
I mean, the stuff that you guys were just talking about now, like I enjoyed a lot of the comedy involved. I think that definitely plays to Jason Momoa as well, because he seems like that kind of guy anyway, and that's like a testament to like how naturally he fits Aquaman as a whole.
Yeah.
And I would just also like to say that like before like he was introduced as Aquaman, I never cared about Aquaman as a character. So when Jason Momoa was cast as Aquaman, my man Ocean Master, oh, I was like, this guy is it. And I became an instant fan. And of course, like, he's super cool. I feel like he's the coolest out of all the Justice League. I
Mm,
almost said Avengers, right?
yeah.
But but yeah, I really like that. So as far as anything that I had laughed out loud about, I think the one thing that I laughed the most to was probably like anything where it was the two brothers,
Yeah.
where they
Yeah.
they had like that very butting of heads relationship. Um, so yeah, that just to answer the question, I'll just go with that one.
Uchi, did you get any Owen Wilson and Loki vibes with the 2?
Nah, like Owen Wilson and Loki, they're just way up there.
Top
You know what I'm
class.
saying? Like
Yeah.
they are,
God tier.
yeah, like they're literally god tier. That show is kind of like unfair to even mention it on this
Yeah.
episode because
Yeah.
like it just I don't think anything touches them right now, and not this. And I don't even want to like. I'm trying to pick my words really nicely because I don't want anyone to hear or listen, watch this later on and be like, "Oh man, like they just hating on Aquaman." No, like I love Aquaman. I love the character. It's just like this movie, obviously, as it definitely could have been way worse, and it wasn't. I feel like it could have been better as well,
Yeah.
which it wasn't. So like I'm in a weird spot because it's just like I don't wanna make people feel like, you know, like, in a weird way about, what I'm trying to say because,
Right.
and then they're probably also like, "Yo, this motherfucker's in a Spider-Man shit with all this Spider-Man,
What do
every
you know?
surrounded." It's like, "Look at this guy, like, he" look, yeah. So it's like, I don't wanna kinda I don't wanna try to put my like, there's no biases, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, at the end of the day, and I try to emphasize this every single time is that I go to support superhero movies because I love superheroes. And so obviously it goes without saying, huge Marvel guy, but like I want DC to make me feel as how I normally do leaving a Marvel project, whether it's
Yeah.
on the Sony end, whether it's on the Marvel Studios end, like that's just how it goes. They at least keep me interested and it just sucks because right now I know that they're not gonna have that. They're not gonna leave me with that feeling yet because they're now finally wrapping up. Like this is the last movie, right? And they're done. And now it's
Yeah.
just James Gunn from here on out. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So
I believe there's something else before Superman Legacy, but that's the like to me, I don't care about anything else. Like that's the one that I want to see. I think that's the one that has the most potential. But what I was gonna say about Owen Wilson and Loki, I wanted more of Owen Wilson and Loki, like throughout the season, just like more and more and more of that. And that's kind of the same vibe I got with the two brothers here. I would have loved just more of them together, bickering and fighting, and maybe just trying to deal with one enemy, which would have been Black Manta, and instead of the other one. So just a little bit more simpler, like a character development story of the brothers would have been really cool. I would have preferred that. Um, Shout out to Jack Jack from The Incredibles, the Disney Pixar movie, because that's who I thought about when the kid came on. The Incredibles is
uh
also the reason and an inspiration for the Incredibly name. Fun
bro,
facts.
shout outs
Mm.
to Jack Jack because he is literally a super scroll. Like he got all those powers, bro. Did you I just when you said Jack Jack, it literally reminded me of like that was the one thing like even dad was saying. He's like, "Yo, that baby is broken." Like he's about to be OD when he grows up, but we never saw it.
Yeah.
So,
And Uchi kind of said this. There was a lot of potential with this story, like this movie,
yeah.
like this underground world. I don't know what the right comparison is. Maybe Avatar. Like Avatar was this world that we could never imagine or see. And maybe the Little Mermaid could give us something under the sea. But like Aquaman had this opportunity to be this incredible world where we could never imagine what it could be like. And I think they lost opportunity there too. Joey, did you get that vibe at all?
Absolutely, because there's the whole scene where they're in the shipwreck, the pirate area, and there's a
Mm.
whole just a whole ecosystem of different marine life and real people living in this thing. And like I wish we got more of that because I think where this movie excels at is showing this underwater life. Like you don't develop technology to have people's hair floating the entire time and then only use it for a bit of the movie. Unless that's where the entire budget went, which is okay. But like it reminded me a lot of I don't know if you guys watched it, but the One Piece live action they had there's an arc called Fishman Island arc, and there's fish people that look really good in live action. They all have like real prosthetics and everything look awesome.
Oh
A
wow.
lot of the fish people in this movie looked just as good as those real prosthetics. And like I wish we would have got to live in that more and to live in this underwater world more. Because that's like when I think of Aquaman, like that's the kind of movie I want. I don't want us to be on land. Like I don't want us to be,
Yeah.
fighting side by side with
Yeah.
whoever else like literally in the like it was funny that they had to go get Orm from the desert because they dried him out. But then like that should have been it. You know, like that to me, that should have been the only part that was on land, unless you were fighting Manta on land or a land and sea
Right.
kind of deal. Um, yeah, I agree with it. But that's kind of I kind of like that. They had to go into the Lost Kingdom, which was in ice. I thought that was an interesting way to kind of
Mhm.
bridge the gap.
Mm.
But otherwise, yeah. Show us more of the underwater. I guess we're not gonna see
Yeah.
that for probably another 10 years, but
Missed
Oh
opportunity,
next
bro.
man.
time,
Such a
show
missed
us some more.
opportunity. Such a
Yeah.
missed opportunity. Like that was one thing that really just upset me. Go ahead, Uch.
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to add, like, to what Joey was saying is, like, and I was talking to you about this, like, when it came to and I think this kinda relates to what Dennis was saying, so this is, like, all around, like, for all across the table here, like, I was trying to like, I felt like there was a lot of themes going on at the same time in this
Yeah.
movie, like, they made it about global warming, and then we don't really get as many underwater like, the only underwater adventures we get was with my man Agent Woo. I'm like, "First of all, what are you doing here?" Right?
Jenny Woo.
Like, my man Agent Woo's in
Bro.
like, "What? You're in the wrong film. Get back to Marvel." Right? Sorry. Anyway, I had to get that out. But they had
Mhm.
all the Black Manta. I'm calling him Mantis, but it's Black Manta, freaking shit. But he has the most, like, underwater adventuring, right? So that's, like, the majority of it. He finds all the ice stuff. I thought that was really cool. Like, every once one like, that's the thing. Everything that was underwater was way better than everything that had to
Yes.
do on coming on land. And then, like, they go to the desert to get Horn, and then, like, then they do this whole jungle exploration thing and everything. I'm just like, I'm not like, I don't know what's going on here. But then at the same time, then it's just like, okay, now it's a story about brothers. But wait, it's actually a story about this evil dude who used to be an Atlantean,
Yeah.
and he's actually the big bad, not Black Manta. And then it helped me remember I saw people online back when the first Aquaman movie came out saying that, like, man, I wish they did more with Black Manta. And so now here's their second chance. They technically do more because they pose him as the big bad, but really he's not. The big bad is the guy that's
Yeah.
giving him that power with the Black Triton or whatever. I forget what it was called, but like that's
Mhm.
that was really so it was kind of like they were tossing around like the objective of why we are here. You know what I'm saying? So, and I guess they I guess attempted to tie it up by the end where it was like, oh yeah, like because Atlantis is now officially coming up and exposing themselves to kind of help us figure out this global warming issue. Like I was just like I guess, okay. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. So, yeah, like,
I mean, it makes
Yeah.
sense though,
it does.
because it affects their home.
Yeah, but I don't know. I like, that's just how I felt. Like,
Yeah.
it was like, it was here, it was there, and then back to here, and then over there somewhere in the corner. Like,
Yeah.
the themes kept getting tossed around. So,
Yeah.
like, that's
Exactly.
why I was like, kinda, like, literally in and out throughout the majority of
Yeah.
it.
That was like what I was trying to say. It was just very hard to understand like the identity of the movie. Like what is it? Crystal, did you have any of that problem as well? Were you confused? Maybe not confused, but like trying to understand the identity of the movie?
Yeah, I mean, I kinda agree, with what Uchi said too, 'cause it just felt like it kinda bounced all over the place, and it sucks because, like, there was so much good like, there was good potential there. Like, I honestly like the fact that, because I thought it was just gonna be about Black Manta, and then he gets this trident or whatever, and then I'm like, "Okay, that's cool." He gets infected with this, whatever it is,
The dark
but
cold.
then yeah, and then we come to find out that there's actually a whole other being that wants to
Yeah.
be released, and it happens to be Alton's brother, or is that his name? Alton's brother?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Word X.
Or yeah, so I'm like, I love that kind of, like, power play about how he had a brother who ended up being evil, and
Yeah.
then, Aquaman has his issues with his brother, but it's not gonna end up that way. So I kinda like that, but it didn't even get to really tap into
Mm.
that. So to me,
Yeah.
that's where like that's what I wanted to see. I'm like, this
Same.
could be so OD. I love that. I love Black Manta, but I love this whole idea of this evil brother that apparently exists that no one knew
Right.
about, that was written off like the history books of
Right.
Atlantis, and you know, that they used some sort of black magic or something.
And then he
So
Yeah.
killmongered himself at the end.
yeah,
Black
I like
Manta.
that too though. I liked how he
Yeah.
stood on, he stood on his business the whole time. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, but
That's a good point.
yeah, it was all over the place, but it was just that was, I think, what really docked points for me, like, like, the most docked points came from that, because I really wanted to see that. I think there was such good potential. I mean, it's like it wasn't just him, though, it was his whole kingdom
Mm.
that got
Right.
turned into these monsters and was frozen over. I can't even imagine what that fight scene and that battle would have looked like.
Yeah. Based on the Flash graphics and this one, sometimes maybe I don't want it. Now
Yeah.
that I think about it,
Amen.
that was a problem. Joey, I want to ask you, because I know you watch a lot of movies as well. What did you think about Patrick Wilson, who plays Aquaman's brother, in general, like his performance? Because I'm so used to seeing him like in horror movies,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
stuff like that. What did you think? Can he deliver as a superhero, or should he just stick to the other genre?
I actually really liked his performance. I thought he was really fun because he played a very good straight man to Jason Momoa's Aquaman, especially in the scenes. Because I noticed it at first when they were first running, and he had his arms tucked behind his sides. I'm like, he has no idea how to fucking run. This is actually hilarious. Like, this is so funny. I thought that he was able to play that very serious, like kingly type role a
Right.
little bit better than I was anticipating, because I don't remember how much we really got to see of him in the first movie, although I do remember him being very good. So, I liked him in this role. I thought it was really good because having I feel like I'm so used to in Marvel movies this formula of like everybody's a comedian and everybody is quippy and is able to deliver these kind of lines, that when you have this straight shooter who's just like, "What's a burger? These words don't make any sense to me right now. Like, I don't understand what
Right.
you're saying." It's like really it was funny and it was good, and I thought that, is a very good, like, foil almost to Aquaman. And I'd love to see him come back. I probably maybe not as Orm, but as in that very serious, tone deaf kinda role where he doesn't really kinda almost like a Drax kinda situation where he doesn't understand
Right.
metaphors,
I was
similar to
thinking of
that.
him.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I love that. I thought that was a lot of fun.
I love Jax. Or Drax. The one thing that just came to my mind, James Wan is the director for The Conjuring, which Patrick
Mhm.
Wilson is in.
That makes sense.
And yeah, so like it's all starting to come together. But the one thing I wanted to give a shout to Black Manta, just because I loved his character. I was so bummed out that they kind of pushed him to the side and was like, actually, he's not a big deal anymore. We're gonna focus on this other guy. And the scene in the house when the baby gets kidnapped and his red eyes appear in the
Oh,
kitchen, yo, that was fire. That gave me James Wan vibes from like the movies he's used to doing. Man, I just wanted more of that. God,
yeah.
such a missed
Mhm.
opportunity.
Yeah,
I hate when this
that's pretty
happens.
cool.
It really felt like Manta was just a delivery tool for the big bad.
He's a placeholder.
Mhm.
He
Yeah.
Yeah, because, like,
Placeholder.
he literally loses the power of the trident, and then Aquaman's like, "You're just a dude," and then just, like, he either pushed him or punched him, I don't remember exactly
He
what he did.
buried this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like, "Alright, I guess." Like, what a way to send off the villain that you built up for this movie.
Mhm.
It was just frustrating because it's like we all love Black Manta. Like, character's awesome, has been in the comics for forever, great, and the guy that was playing him,
Mhm.
fantastic.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
only yeah, to only be played off like that was pretty frustrating, not gonna lie, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very. Ah,
Mhm.
man. Not gonna lie, Uchi, I thought about you when I saw Jason Momoa up there with the hair and everything and the guns out, suns out, all that stuff. I was like, yo, Uchi could play little brother in another film. So let's go.
I'd be
You need a little bit
down.
more
Aqualad,
tattoos.
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would need my Samoan tribal stuff, and I would just need to
Yeah.
have, like, 10,000 grams of protein a day, so I'm getting there. I got my 20-gram bars, you know what I'm saying? So we're it's baby
Nice.
steps.
Costco. We need that Costco membership, Joey. Can we borrow
Oh,
it,
you
please?
got one.
I do.
Let's go. Okay, cool. And any last thoughts, Crystal, on the movie that you wanted to get out, or any questions at all?
I just when Joey was talking about Orm, it reminded me of that scene. Um, because I love the dynamic between the brothers and how like he is a straight shooter. But I also loved how it was interesting when they were in the jungle and he found out that Aquaman doesn't actually want the throne.
Oh
And
yeah.
he was like, "Wait, you don't want the throne?" And Aquaman is like, "No, I hate this shit."
Yeah.
And so he was kind of shook because he's like, but I thought this is what, like my father had told me that you would be like coming up to battle with me to get the throne and I feel like it was just a cool moment to see this realization that he had about Aquaman where he's not trying to, defeat him for the throne. He actually just he hates it. He
Yeah.
doesn't want
Right.
it.
He'd be slumped during all those meetings and shit. I liked how
Yeah.
I like how they touched on that. Like he was
Yeah.
actually like, and then his wife had to wake his ass up. That was actually kind of
Yeah,
fire.
and it kind of plays into his character too. It makes sense.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
like that. And I do like the way things kind of I thought he was gonna come back to Atlantis, but they did say that,
Mm.
people aren't gonna be so warm to, with open arms about him just yet. So I like how they sent him off and, I like his little thing that he gave his little speech at the end.
I like that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and played into, like, the development of their, relationship as brothers. So I
Yeah.
thought that was
He
pretty
earned
nice.
the trust back. I like that
Yeah,
too.
Yeah.
Right.
he did.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was cool.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm a big fan of self-awareness. Like I do this a lot with myself. Like, what am I good at? What can I do? What can I do with the time that I have, or like even the skills that I have? Like, what can I actually do? What do I need to get better? And I'm a big believer of like, if I can't run this team or I can't run this company or this project or whatever, how can I identify the person that can and then bring in like my balance to it and like stuff like that. So that's a great point. Like that really did hit with me. But also in that scene, in that last scene, you made me think about this because you guys know how crazy I am about movies, a little too much sometimes. But I can't imagine being an actor and sitting in this CGI room all day and I don't know, just like really feeling the environment. I've never acted in my life before. Um, maybe I should. That'd be fun. But like I can't imagine just like pretending or imagining things around me. I'm also not quite sure how advanced CGI is. But Joey, like I think about a movie like Oppenheimer who didn't have any green screen or CGI. And I would imagine it's a little bit easier to get into that environment and feel that a little bit more. But that kept running through my mind. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that too.
I remember, I think it was Patrick Stewart or Ian McKellen. One of them, because in my mind they're kind of interchangeable sometimes because they're just so awesome. But one of them had come out and said that when the first time they had to do like a green screen project where it was just them on a green screen trying to act, they almost like broke down in tears because they're like, "Is this acting? Like, what am I doing? Like, there's
Mhm.
nobody here." I think it might have been Ian McKellen for Lord of the Rings because he was always around like the hobbits and everything, and he was Gandalf, so he's super fucking tall. Um, but it's I think it's tough, and I would imagine that a lot of the Marvel people probably feel the same way when all of your set pieces are just big green or blue blocks, that you have to jump on or anything like that. Especially in a movie like Aquaman, where it does take place underwater. I'm sure it was great for Aquaman and Orm to act in a jungle, which I'm assuming was they found some kind of jungle, probably New Zealand or something, that they were able to at least run through
Yeah.
and actually like act for real. But I can imagine it's probably pretty tough. Whereas like if you're able to use something like the volume, I don't know if you know what the volume is. It's what they used to shoot the Batman. It's like this big, massive screen that wraps around something, and
Oh,
it
right.
can mimic realistic backgrounds. So, like, a lot of the wide sweeping shots in Batman, or like in the end scene where they're all coming out of the rubble after everything happened. That scene is shot in the volume where it's like that you could at least have something to interact with where there's set pieces. But if it's just green screen, I can only imagine how tough it is. you know, that, and that's why, like, on Guardians, James Gunn or his brother, what the hell is his brother's name? He would actually sit in for Rocket. Like, they would use him as a
Oh
Rocket
wow.
stand-in, so
Mm.
that way people aren't just there looking at nothing, right? So it's
Yeah,
like
Mm.
that makes sense.
there's different ways to do it. So I would imagine that a movie like this is pretty tough, though. But at least you have
Yeah.
other actors around. Not everybody was CG, and it looked like Manta's suit was completely practical as well, at least in most shots, except for when they like subbed in
Yeah.
Right.
CGI doubles. But yeah,
Cool. Yeah. I'm just trying to understand, like, why didn't this deliver? Why did this? And
yeah.
like see like what those elements could bring to. Yeah, there's just so much to digest, but that's really cool. Joey or Uchi, any last thoughts on the movie?
No, I'm good. It was
Um,
alright.
yeah, I feel that.
Are you
My
guys are you guys gonna have cockroach for breakfast at all in your omelets?
absolutely not. I will say, Crystal's got a great face right now. um, all in all, the movie was an okay movie.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't the most perfect comic book movie. However, it was very comic booky, I will
Mm.
say. Even like the intro scene where it's kind of like, I'm Aquaman and this is my life. Like, it felt like I was like starting a new issue
Let's do
where
this
it's,
one more time.
yeah, exactly, where it's like, my name is Peter Parker and I'm this universe's friendly neighborhood. Like, it felt like that,
I
right?
love
It felt,
that
yeah,
actually.
like it felt like you were getting back into, because it's been since, when did Aquaman come out? 2019? I think 2018,
Yeah.
2019.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's been a minute, right?
Mhm.
And we got the Snyder cut in 2020.
Yeah.
So like since we've seen and lived with Aquaman, it's been a minute. So getting to like get back in the groove with him and kind of see where he is and where he's been at, it that specifically almost felt like they're saying, "Hey, this isn't Aquaman. This isn't Arthur. This is actually just Jason Momoa, and he has superpowers." It's like really what that felt like.
Mm.
Um, so I really like that, and I liked some of the dialogue where um, the first interaction with Aquaman and Manta's like, "Man, you took your brother's throne and his girl. Shame
Oh
on you,
yeah. That
Aquaman."
Yeah.
was
Like
so
that
good.
that was great. Like, that was such a comic book line. A lot of the dialogue I really liked, outside of like maybe a few things here or there. And then the one thing that I laughed at hard was at the very end of the movie where when Aquaman's giving this heartfelt speech and he ends it with "I am Aquaman." Was exactly, it was Tony Stark 2.0. It was
Right.
how MCU started and then
True.
how the DCEU ended, which I thought was really funny. But it's also a good nod. I thought it was a good nod. I would imagine, in what universe does Aquaman say "I am Aquaman"? Woo! I'm
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
The woo
without,
at the end.
yeah, without Tony Stark saying that in Iron Man. So
I can
I thought that was
imagine
a lot
all
of
the suits in the UN saying, "We let this guy in." Like, what did we
Yeah.
do?
fun. Yeah, right.
But I love that he's bringing his authentic self, as you always should. Always
Absolutely.
bring your true self. All right, that's awesome. I wanted to get into really quickly the top 5 thing. I just wrote a note. I totally
Oh
forgot about
yeah.
this. And I did not see your top 5 because I want you guys to get my reaction as you share it. So I didn't want to spoil it. So if you can please, if I'll give you a few seconds if you need to pull it up.
Oh brother.
But I wanted to get in real time. Okay, I
Um,
know what Uchi's number 1 is. Joey's can't be the same number 1 because Uchi's number 1 in Joey's list is probably number 10. So we have to
Mm.
let's
ah.
let's uh
Mm.
let's let's
So
see it.
Ooch, you can go
Yeah.
first.
okay, do you guys want to just do the ratings really quick?
Oh yeah, we'll do that, and then
Oh,
we'll finish that.
yeah, perfect. Crystal, your rating, please.
Oh, the rating for the movie. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
I was like, I think it's on-
You're rating for the top 5.
To readjust.
I was like, wait, hold on. I would say a 7.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say a
Okay, I
7.
like that.
Mm,
I like that.
eh.
Joey.
I'm also gonna give it a 7 because I actually had a lot of fun during this movie.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that Jason Momoa would stay Aquaman, but I know that's not gonna happen, which is okay. It is what
Mhm.
it is.
Uchi.
7.
Yo.
Oh wow.
All
Okay,
right,
Wow.
okay.
Dennis. Don't fuck it
Well,
up, Dennis.
I have to be the nice guy, and I have to give this one a not. No,
Oh,
Let's
I
turn
was
that
I
upside
was
really
down.
about to just close the lid. Get the
Let's turn that upside down. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
Just because I can't get over how much potential this movie could have had. It breaks my
Yeah.
heart that
Yep.
I didn't get this. Ah, man, the underworld could have been so cool. It just could have been so different. And I would have loved to see that. And yo, I love Jason as Aquaman. Like straight up, he was born to play that role. And it's so cool. So I hope he does come back. I know Wonder Woman's gonna come back. That's amazing. So hopefully Jason can come back, but we'll see.
I
Um,
I want
okay,
there to
yeah.
be a version of the movie where it's Black Manta with all of the pirates versus Atlantis. I think that could have been
They
he could have rose the ranks, became like the underworld leader, and be like, "I'm gonna fucking kill Aquaman," and then teamed up with everybody, and then have that be the movie rather than this whole other backstory and like having to break out Orm because he's the only one that can like you need two Atlanteans of this
Yeah.
power to be able to do it. But
no surprise, our producer slash editor slash director Joey with the cool cut ideas. I like it.
right,
All right,
thank
Uchi,
you. Where's Zack
hit me
Snyder?
with that top five.
Okay, so you want my 5 down to 1 or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
okay.
Let's go. Let's start with five.
All right. 5. So just like for everyone that's listening and watching, if you want the full explanation, go watch the video. That goes for you too, Dennis. So make sure you watch our own shit. Okay. My number 5 for top 5 projects of this year, 2023, My Adventure with Superman. Number
Oh,
4 is
Mars.
Godzilla. -1, obviously. 3 is Super Mario Brothers the movie. Number 2 is Loki, obviously season 2, right? Number 1 is Spider-Verse.
Hey, I like it. I guess number one and number two. I love that Godzilla made your list. Oh my goodness, that
Absolutely.
makes me so
Had to.
happy.
Yeah.
All right, Joey. And Crystal, if you can get a top five in like a minute,
And this
I'll come to you
okay,
too.
so this is just this year
This year.
that came
Yeah.
out
Yeah,
this year.
this
Okay.
year.
Start thinking while Joey
Cool.
goes.
I'm thinking of
I'll
Yeah,
go
I'll go to
extra
Joey, and then
slow,
I'll go.
yeah.
Yeah.
Write it down.
Slow mo Joey.
right? All right. My number 5 is TMNT Mutant Mayhem.
Let's go.
My number 4 is Godzilla -1.
Wow. All right.
My number 3 is Guardians 3. Obviously, got to have it on the list because Guardians are the go,
Hey.
right? My number
Okay.
2 is Loki season 2. Yes, sir. And my
Oh
number
no, you
1
did it.
is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, baby.
Imagine that, Dennis. We lined up on 3 out of
3
5
5.
things.
Wow.
In the
Bro,
same
I'm
spot,
surprised
too.
in the same spot. I'm surprised about your number one, not gonna lie, but we'll leave that
Yeah,
joke for another day.
I love Spider-Verse, bro. That's why I got my hat on.
All right, all right.
Five Below.
I'll
Go get your
redeem
hats.
yourself.
5 below, we outside.
Use the referral link.
Right?
The referral link down below. All right, I'll give you guys and I will go check out the video. I didn't want to get it there. I wanted to get it live because like I wouldn't be able to do this realistically again. Um I'll do my 5 and I'll give a reason why. That way
Okay.
that it'll give Crystal some time too.
Yeah.
Number 5, this might be a surprise to you guys. Harley Quinn season 4.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I am a big Batman fan, and it's one of my favorite animated series. It's very funny, it's mature, it's cute. I'm a huge Batman fan, so naturally, like she comes with the package.
Right.
And I'm not kidding. I laugh out loud a whole lot in this show. It's really good and it's really great. I highly recommend you guys even start from like season 1, and there's spin-offs coming next year, so I'm pumped about that. At number 4, I have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem.
Yes, sir.
This is the movie that I wanted as a kid.
Mm.
And I was just so happy that I finally got it. It had Spider-Verse inspired art. I always have it on in the background, so it's always playing on my main TV, and I'll pause it once in a while just to get that frame because of the colors and everything. I absolutely love this movie. I love how young it was, how it was for the kids and the teens. It was great. I couldn't have asked for a better TMNT movie. You know, shout out to my boy Mikey right here. Always in the spotlight. Always in the spotlight. At number 3, I have Loki season 2. This is, I mean, the performances were incredible. I love the loop storyline. It gave me vibes of movies that I liked as a kid, or like just like time loop stuff. I always loved that when I was younger, so I love that. I fell in love with Owen Wilson, and this was such a complex story. And not gonna lie, I was very worried about that, but they closed it out very simply and still complex, but it made sense. And I love the sacrifice that Loki made for the greater love of the people around him. That's amazing. I absolutely love that show.
Yeah.
And I will say that these top 3, I can switch on and off on a different day. Like
Same.
on Christmas, I might put Loki at number 1 just because of like I'll wake up at 6 o'clock to cook breakfast for my family, that type of thing, right? Not as big a sacrifice, but you get what I'm saying. At number 2, at number 2, this is the controversy one. I have Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. This movie was mind-blowing, complex, simple, creative, innovative. It's different and it's amazing. Tell me the next time there's a different thing that people accept. It's not going to happen. Most people want the same thing just a little bit differently, not a lot differently. And this was a lot differently. Oh man, this is the first time I vibed with a character on a human level. I'm like, Jordan kicks, graphic design, hip hop music, kind of a good student, but has a little thug in him. I can relate. Like that was me. That was me as a kid, right?
You know me as a kid, little thug in me.
Yeah.
When the graphic design.
Yeah. The homies outside, yo, let's go play ball. Yeah, I'm ready. Like, mom, I'll finish my chemistry paper later, okay? Love you. And they're like, walk out. And number 1, controversy, bro. I gotta give it a Godzilla -1.
Oh,
Yeah. No, that's not
And
controversial.
That's not controversial. I thought you were
facts.
about to say Barbie or some shit.
Oh, no.
Then, yeah, but okay. All right.
I'll give you a couple reasons. I will remember this movie night. And actually, it's quite funny because I skipped on a live episode to go watch this early. I watched it early. I was there with a bunch of Godzilla fans. They were all cheering. They were clapping. We talk about this a lot in our text messages, but this is the reason why I go to the movies, to get people's reactions. This is why I love doing this show with you guys, to get your feelings and stuff. And it's a night to remember. That's one. This movie was beautiful. The most human Godzilla movie I've ever seen in my life. It was all in Japanese, and you have to embrace it and accept it. It paid respect to Godzilla so fantastically. Uchi and I, definitely, Joy, you do this too. We defend monster movies.
Facts.
And we like, right? We have to say, like, this is why we like it. We don't have to do this with Godzilla -1. It speaks for itself. It's just, it was the surprise, the night that I had watching it, people clapping and cheering at the end. It gave me vibes of like how No Way Home had, when like people were clapping when they saw Toby and Andrew, all that stuff. Oh man, it was just a great night. So that's my top 5. I'll run through it really quickly. Harley Quinn season 4, TMNT Mutant Mayhem, Loki season 2, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and number 1, Godzilla -1.
That's fire. I'm not even mad at that. I'm not even mad at that, because Godzilla was so OD. Like, it was such a great movie, and it exceeded a lot of people's expectations, kind of blew itself out the water, just like how Godzilla blew out the water, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, like I can't even get mad at that, because like I loved Godzilla that much to honor that list. I think this is the cleanest list Dennis has ever had.
Facts.
And
That's straight facts.
I will take it for what it is. So good shit.
So we have a couple in our top 5. Oh, sorry, Chris. I was gonna say we have Godzilla, Loki season 2, and Spider-Man.
Right.
And Joey, you and I have
Turtles.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Crystal.
that reminds me of the amazing freaking clip that we saw in the movies, Godzilla versus Kong.
Oh, the new Empire, John, or whatever it's called.
That shit looks sick.
I didn't even see the trailer until last night
yeah.
in the previews. And because at first I got thrown off. I was like, like I saw like a metal arm come out the ground. I was like, oh, it's probably a new Transformers movie. And then Kong came on screen. I was like, wait, what? And then it was like all these things was going on. And then I knew I was Godzilla. I was like, and I didn't blink. Like this was my face the entire time.
Yeah, he was frozen.
I was.
Yeah, that was
Frozen.
good, though.
I can't wait to see that shit.
That's awesome.
Um,
Crystal, let's hear it.
yeah. So I honestly can't even remember everything that came out this year,
It
but
was tough. There's a lot of
yeah,
shit.
yeah. So I'm trying to think of it last minute, but mine, at number 5, I have Mario.
Very nice. Okay.
That was fun. I actually thoroughly
Yeah, a
enjoyed
lot of
that.
fun.
Very funny. It was nice. At 4, Turtles. I really
Mhm.
liked that movie.
Hey,
I
me
like I
too.
knew I had a feeling it was gonna be good, but it like exceeded my expectations. So I really enjoyed that.
We saw that in 4DX.
Yeah.
Oh, you got all the sewer
Yes.
smells pumped in?
Nah,
Yeah.
it didn't smell like shit. Thank
We got
God.
water though.
Yeah, we got
Sh-
sprayed a little bit.
Shout out
Yeah.
to the usher who gave me more comic books than I needed. Thank you.
Facts, dude.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
the collectible stuff.
At number 3, so this one kinda sometimes is a little bit, interchangeable with, like, 1 and 2 just because of the meaning behind, this movie, but I would say Barbie. You know,
Mhm.
especially as a
Hey,
woman and as a person of color, that movie meant a lot to me. Of course, like, if you take the meaning behind out of it, it's like it was a fun movie, but, the message that came across of that, in regards to women and their struggles and then how we're viewed in the world, how we've always been treated, even to this day. So that movie definitely means a lot. So sometimes I feel like it's my number 1, so it kinda gets changed out, but that movie meant a lot to me. Number 2, this is hard 'cause I really liked Loki season 2,
There it is.
and then 1
so
Spider-Man.
good.
There it is.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, so that's my list.
We need the sound effects. Shout out to Barbie, incredible movie. America's scene in that movie was so powerful. I really love that. Um, it was produced by Margot. So that's a woman producer. It was directed by Greta, a woman producer. So like just the whole woman empowerment and just like creativity throughout this whole movie was incredible. And shout out to Ken. He was also good, but he's in the back. He's cute in the background. He
And
was great.
Gravik.
And Gravik.
And graphic, bro.
But you know what's funny? Barbie is also a part of the reason why Dennis hates Secret Invasion more.
Yeah, exactly. Such bad timing for Secret Invasion. Oh my goodness. All right, that was fun, man. We had a great year, a ton of stuff.
Do you
Yeah.
There's a
mind if
lot of
I got
yeah.
a bunch of honorable mentions that I cut that I
Oh,
went
go for
over,
it.
but I'd love to talk about them now. Invincible season 2 came out, which is fucking sick.
Mm.
I'm halfway.
Gen V came out, also sick. Um, Dungeons and Dragons movie was incredible if you're
So
D&D
good.
fans. And then the one that I wish I could have put on the list if it wasn't for everything else, Blue Beetle. What a good ass
Oh
movie, bro.
I
yeah.
forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's in my honorable mentions too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it was top 6, it would have made it for sure because Blue
Right.
Beetle was best DC film of the year.
I
Easily.
agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, no cap.
Yeah. Zolo, incredible. And I'm so thankful that James Gunn is gonna bring him back to play Blue Beetle in
He
the
freaking
future
better.
installment. No, he will. It's like confirmed. Like Blue Beetle is the first I don't know what it's called, DCU character. So we're chilling.
Cool.
Yeah. First
That's
official, I
cool.
should say.
The one that I keep going back and forth with was Harley Quinn season 4 and Mario Brothers. I think that movie was so much fun. It was so good. So that was the one that was like a close one. All right,
Oh, and
cool.
Maz too.
Yeah.
Maz,
Can't
game
forget
changer.
Maz.
Not to be a Grinch, but that's all the time that we have for you today. If you love movies, subscribe to Skip the Previews, my YouTube channel, where I share the movies I watch. Joy, where can people find you? And do you have any updates that you want to share with the audience?
Yes, sir. You can find me here on Incredibly, and you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/house_top or on Twitter on twitter.com/life of my pace. And then you can find me and Ryan right here Wednesday evenings, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Plug.
where you can we're gonna be hopefully finishing up our strongest superhero
Hopefully.
bracket.
You said hopefully.
Hopefully finishing up, and we're down to semifinals and then finals, so it shouldn't take too long. However, when we looked at the bracket at the end of the episode, it was pretty stacked. So everybody has homework for next Wednesday, which is everybody has to watch Eternals again by next Wednesday so we can rank their powers individually, because holy shit.
The God
many of
tiers.
them. Dude,
The
it's
God bracket.
they broke the bracket. So
They did. They really
that is-
did. So
that
is the
annoying.
homework.
Unfair.
It's the only she in the chat the whole time like, oh my god.
Stressed. I can't wait to see the new brackets though, because there's
Yeah.
definitely
Yes.
a lot of people that need to be chucked out.
Yeah,
Facts.
we got a
Ooh.
bunch of clauses. We got the dragon clause.
The dragon
We got
clause.
the civilian clause. We got the Santa Claus. So we're
Saw that.
yeah.
Ho 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 mother. No.
That was so funny. Oh man.
So,
All right,
yeah.
Uchi, where can people find you?
All right, guys, plant the seeds, you get the trees. The link tree, of course, has all my links to make it easier so we can wrap up faster, but all my socials are going to be in there. And as always, right here on Incredibly.
And a big thank you to Crystal, aka Crystal Clear. The podcast is coming soon. Crystal, where can people find you?
So it's Crysay, CRYSAYE on Instagram and on Twitter.
Nice.
I love it. Thank you for being here with us today. Remember to drop a comment and follow us on our socials to stay up to date when our next episode drops or when we go live. Please leave us a review on your favorite podcast player. And remember, you can find all the links mentioned in today's episode in the description below. And Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
Hey, I like that.
Bye.
See ya.
See ya.